The psychology of texting women. Get her hooked instantly. You've been doing it wrong, and you don't even know it. You've bought into the idea that texting women is some formula to crack, that if you follow the right steps, send the right emojis, and sprinkle in enough LOLs, she'll magically fall for you. But here's the brutal truth. All that's doing is pushing her away. The real skill, the rare secret you're about to unlock, is how to text her in a way that shows you're not just another guy trying to win her over. You're someone who's already got everything going for him. And texting her is just one of the many ways you keep control. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to use your texting game to trigger attraction, keep her intrigued, and make her want more. Let's break it down. The first thing you need to understand about texting women is this. Texting is not about efficiency. It's not about sending her a message and getting an immediate response. That's the mistake most guys make. They think texting is some transactional thing where you say, hey, she says what's up, and the conversation keeps going. But here's the problem with that. It's predictable, it's boring, and it doesn't do anything for her emotions. Women don't respond to efficiency. They respond to unpredictability, to challenge, and to a man who's comfortable not chasing validation. Imagine this. You're sitting in your living room, your phone buzzing every few minutes. It's her. You've been talking for a while now, but every message you send seems like you're trying too hard. Maybe it's a joke, maybe it's a casual comment, but you're looking for her approval with every line. Then you realize you're not even excited to see her reply. You're too busy wondering if it's the right thing to say. That's where you're missing the point. The problem here is that you're in your head too much. You're not approaching this with the mindset of someone who is living his life, and texting is just one of the many ways you keep control. Now, let's flip this. Picture yourself texting her, but this time you're not overthinking it. Instead, you're focused on the conversation, but detached from the outcome. You're doing it because you enjoy the process of engaging with her, not because you're waiting for her validation. You're in control of your frame, and your texting reflects that. You don't need her to respond right away. In fact, you don't care if she does. You're living your life. You're busy. You've got things going on, and she's just one of the many things in your orbit. Here's a challenge for you. Next time you text her, give a delayed response. Don't feel the need to reply in a split second. Let her wait a little. Watch her reaction. You'll see a shift. This is how you show her that you're not desperate for her attention. And don't worry, she'll want your attention more than ever. Let me paint a picture for you. It's late at night, you've just finished up a long day, and your phone lights up with a text from her. You pick it up, read it, and then put it down. No rush, no urgency. You're not jumping at the opportunity to respond right away. You're in no hurry. She's waiting for your reply, but here's the thing. You're the one in control. You take a minute to think about what you want to say. There's no panic, no pressure. You start typing, but it's deliberate. Each word has purpose. It's a confident message, something playful, something interesting, maybe a little provocative. You send it. Then you put your phone down and walk away doing something that actually matters to you. Now the key here is the mental game. You've already decided that texting isn't a make or break thing. In fact, you've created a dynamic where she's the one wondering what you're doing. Her phone buzzes and she gets your message. She's intrigued, but also a little frustrated. Why didn't he reply faster? Is he busy? Is he seeing someone else? You've turned the tables without saying a word. The real psychology behind this is simple. When you don't need her validation, it forces her to chase your attention, not the other way around. Women don't want what they can easily have. They want what challenges them. By texting her like this, you're creating a tension that builds attraction. And here's where most guys mess up. They think being available 24/7 shows commitment. It doesn't. It shows neediness, which is the biggest turnoff. You have to learn the art of texting with distance, of making her earn your attention.
But don't get it twisted. This isn't about playing games. It's about being so comfortable with your own life that texting her is just a natural part of it. You're not waiting for her to text you first, but you're also not jumping at her texts either. You're living in your own world, and she's just trying to find her place in it. Here's a myth that's been sold to you over and over again. The key to texting women is to always be quick and responsive. It's everywhere. Every how-to guide, every dating advice article, and every influencer trying to sell you something makes it seem like you have to reply in an instant to keep her interest. If you've been living by that rule, you're setting yourself up for failure. Why? Because it completely ignores the reality of attraction. When you're always available, always responding right away, you're telling her that you're not doing anything that's valuable enough to delay your reply. Think about it. If you're always checking your phone, if you're always dropping everything to talk to her, then you're positioning yourself as someone with no boundaries, no life outside of her. And that's not attractive. That's not masculine. That's desperate. You're essentially handing her the power to control your mood and your time, and let's be honest, that's not what you want. Now, let's break this down. Here's the raw truth. Texting her immediately doesn't make her like you more. It makes you less interesting. It makes you less of a challenge. It makes you blend in with every other guy she's texting. Why do you think women complain about being bombarded by messages from guys who don't know how to play it cool? It's because it's not exciting. There's no mystery, no tension. It's just a bunch of guys doing the same thing, trying to win her approval through quick replies and constant attention. So, what's the fix? It's simple. Stop being so available. Don't reply instantly. Take your time. Let her wonder what you're up to. When you reply, it should be purposeful, deliberate, and on your terms. It should feel like you've got a life that's more important than just her. Here's the kicker. When you master this, she'll actually begin to appreciate your delayed responses. She'll see it as a sign that you have boundaries. She'll see it as a sign that you're not desperate for her validation. And suddenly, you've gone from just another guy to someone who commands respect and attention. Think about it. The next time she sends a text, don't rush to reply. Wait an hour. Let her stew a little. Then, when you do text her back, send a message that adds value to the conversation. Make it interesting. Make it different. Don't fall into the trap of checking in with her constantly. Instead, challenge her a little. Make her think. Make her feel something. That's how you break the mold and actually get her to invest in you. Step 1. Shift your mindset. If there's one thing I want you to take from this video, it's this. Texting is not about playing it safe. It's not about following some script or some set of rules you've been told to memorize. Texting women should come from a place of calm, detached confidence. You need to shift from the mindset of, what should I say to impress her, to, what do I want out of this conversation and how does she fit into my world? When you adopt this mindset, texting becomes a tool for your own enjoyment, not a desperate attempt to get validation. Now, let me hit you with a gut punch here. Most guys don't have a life outside of their phone. They're stuck in a cycle of texting, checking their phone every 5 minutes, and hoping for a reply. That's not a life, that's an addiction. And if you want to master texting women, you have to break free of this addiction. This isn't about being rude or ignoring her. It's about setting boundaries and creating space in your life where texting is just another part of your world, not the center of it. The real mind hack here? Start living your life like she's a bonus, not the main event. When you approach texting with that mindset, she'll feel the shift. You'll no longer be chasing her approval. Instead, she'll be trying to get a glimpse into your world. That's where the magic happens. Step 2. Build the frame of the conversation. The second step is all about how you structure the conversation. Women are emotionally wired. They pick up on subtleties and they respond to mood and energy. If you want to control the flow of a conversation, you have to guide it with intention. Every text you send should lead her somewhere. Don't just throw out empty words. Be deliberate in how you interact with her. If you send a text that's open-ended, that's like opening a door and leaving it wide open. She'll walk right through it, but so will every other guy who's doing the same thing. Instead, you want to create intrigue to steer the conversation. Don't be so passive. Make statements, not just questions. Challenge her a little. Make her think about something you said. A simple, "What's your opinion on that?" can be way more powerful than a basic, "Hey, what are you up to?" Here's an example. If she says, "I've been having a rough day," don't just send, "Oh no, I hope it gets better." Instead, ask, "What happened? And how are you going to make sure it doesn't ruin your night?" You see the difference? One is passive, the other is active. You're guiding her to think, and you're not just simply waiting around for her to fill in the blanks. The conversation becomes about her, yes, but it's framed within the context of your influence. And that's powerful.
Step 3. Embrace the pause. The third step is one that a lot of guys miss. They think every silence has to be filled with a message. But here's the thing. Silence creates space. The longer you go without texting her, the more she'll wonder what you're doing and why you're not texting back right away. She'll start to realize that you're busy, you've got a life, and while she's waiting for you to text her, she's thinking about you, which is exactly where you want her head to be. But don't just pause for the sake of pausing. Let the silence serve a purpose. Take your time with your responses. The pauses you embrace are like the space between notes in a piece of music. They make the melody that much more impactful when you do speak. Think about the last time someone had to wait for you to reply. What was your initial thought? Wasn't it a bit of curiosity? Maybe even a little anticipation? That's the kind of effect you want to have. Picture this. You've been texting her for a few days now. You're in a rhythm, but it's different this time. You're no longer the guy scrambling for the next text. You've stopped overthinking every message. She texts you something simple. "How's your day going?" It's an open-ended question, but here's the trick. You don't have to turn it into a one-word answer. You could, but that would be boring. So instead of just saying, "Good, how about you?" you think, "What's the most interesting, playful response I can give her that also keeps the energy high?" You reply with something like, "It's been good. Just finished a meeting and got some things off my to-do list. Feeling like I'm on top of the world right now. What's something that makes you feel unstoppable?" Now you've shifted the conversation. You've made her think, and you've added a challenge to the exchange. You're no longer a passive participant in the conversation. You're steering the ship. And here's where the psychological game comes in. Women want to talk to men who can elevate the conversation. The same old, "How was your day?" questions are flat. They don't engage her emotionally. But when you ask her something that requires her to dig deeper, it activates her mind. She starts to think about what she finds powerful. This taps into her deeper emotions and her sense of identity, and that's how you build attraction. Here's what she's thinking now. "Wow, this guy isn't just chatting, he's interesting. He doesn't just ask basic questions, he's got something going on in his life." And in turn, she starts seeing you as someone who's above the usual small talk. Now, let's get real for a second. Women are constantly bombarded by texts. Most of them are shallow, surface-level conversations that go nowhere. But by texting her with purpose, with real value, and by controlling the flow of the conversation, you're offering something different. You're offering an experience, one that makes her want to come back for more. Here's another myth you need to let go of. Being overly flirty is the key to attraction. This idea gets sold to you in every dating guide and every pickup artist forum, and it's absolutely wrong. Flirting is a tool, not a tactic, and if you're overusing it, you're sabotaging yourself. Let me expose the truth. Flirting without substance is like putting whipped cream on a cake that's made of cardboard. It looks good, but it's hollow. It doesn't do anything for her in the long run. The trick is not to rely on constant flirtation to hold her attention. Instead, you need to communicate something that's deeper, something that makes her feel your confidence and your security. When you text with genuine purpose, when you show her you have a life and you're not desperate for her approval, That's where the real attraction happens. Imagine texting her, and it's not always about trying to be witty or flirty. You can text her something simple but real, like, "Just finished a workout, feeling great today. How about you? What's been going on in your world?" You're showing her that you're living your life fully, and you're creating a space where she feels invited to open up. This is how you build genuine attraction. You're not trying to impress her with clever lines or excessive compliments. You're letting her see you in your most confident, authentic state, and that's what sparks attraction. But don't misunderstand me. There's still room for playful banter. You can throw in a little flirtation here and there, but it shouldn't be the backbone of your conversation. It should complement the vibe, not define it. And the key to doing this is balancing your texting game. Know when to dial it back and when to push the boundaries. You can flirt, but you don't need to make it the crux of every interaction. Show her your value through your words, your confidence, and your perspective on life. This is far more magnetic than some cheesy pickup line. And here's a final twist for you. When you stop overdoing the flirting, when you stop obsessing over the right lines or perfect timing, something amazing happens. She starts flirting with you. She starts engaging you in playful banter, throwing in compliments and showing more interest in your world. You've shifted the balance. Now she's chasing your energy, and that's when the attraction is at its strongest.
Step 4. Become the unpredictable challenge. By now, you should understand that texting is not about following a script, being overly eager, or trying to impress her at every turn. Now, this is about building something stronger than a simple conversation. It's about creating a dynamic where she's constantly curious about you, where she feels like she's on a journey, and where your texts serve as an exciting challenge. To do this, you need to embrace unpredictability. Think of this. The most attractive man isn't the one who texts every day without fail, trying to keep a constant stream of communication. The most attractive man is the one who keeps her wondering what's coming next. That's the real challenge. It's about mastering the art of keeping her interested. Don't respond to every text right away. Don't reply to everything with an expectation. In fact, sometimes don't reply at all. Yeah, I said it. Sometimes leave her hanging. Leave her waiting for a text from you, wondering why you haven't replied. This creates tension. When you control that tension, you control the attraction. And let's face it, most guys are afraid of this. They're afraid to leave a conversation on a cliffhanger, afraid that she'll think they're not interested. The truth is, if you're the kind of guy who never leaves her wanting more, you're boring. You're predictable. The real game changer here is this. Text her unpredictably. You don't need to reply to her right away every time. When you do reply, don't make it an immediate response to her last text. Throw in a curveball, answer something from earlier in the conversation, or change the subject entirely. By doing this, you're creating a rhythm that keeps her on her toes. You're forcing her to adjust to your pace, not the other way around. Here's the mind hack. Keep her wondering. Keep her thinking, "What's he up to?" Or, "Why hasn't he texted me back?" This is where the power shift happens. You're the one controlling the frame. You're the one making her feel that spark of curiosity, of desire. And most importantly, you're the one who's got a life so full that she can't help but wonder where she fits into it. Step 5. Texting with purpose, not performance. The final step is simple. Every time you text, do it with purpose. If you're texting her just to text her, you're doing it wrong. If you're texting her just to fill the silence, you're doing it wrong. Texting should have a goal, a direction, whether it's to move the conversation forward, to set up plans, or simply to spark intrigue. Each message you send should move the interaction towards something. One of the biggest mistakes guys make is texting out of obligation, as if texting her every day is a requirement. You don't need to text her every day. You don't need to check in on her every minute. If you're doing that, you're overperforming. And here's the thing, she'll start to see right through it.
Women want a man who's busy. They want a man who's moving through his day with purpose. And if you're texting her out of boredom, that's exactly the opposite of what you're conveying. Instead, text her with intention. Text her when you've got something interesting to say. Text her when you want to set plans. Text her when it aligns with your schedule, not because you feel obligated to keep the conversation going. And here's the real key. Text her less. The more you text, the less power you have. When you text with purpose, you let your messages land with more impact. She's going to look forward to your texts more because they aren't constant. They're meaningful. By now, you should see the difference. Texting isn't about being glued to your phone. It's about strategically pulling her in with every message while you maintain your frame, your boundaries, and your lifestyle. This is how you master texting. This is how you create attraction with every word and leave her wanting more.